The keys to success begin with having a strategy of success. It begins with a practice routine. And this is the first in a series of lessons that we are going to explore how to develop your own practice routine. So today's lesson is about developing a warm-up routine to prepare your mind and your hands for your practice. If you were in sports, coach told you go out there and do some stretching exercises. Well, I'm not going to tell you to do that. We've learned that the first thing you want to do is to make sure your fingers and your hands are prepared. Stretching right off the bat or playing the guitar right off the bat could lead to an injury. And so it's not a bad idea to put your hands under warm water and to get the blood circulating, to make large movements with your arms, to get the blood to go to the fingertips, to do stretching with the hands back and forth, flex exercises, so just to kind of warm up, nothing rigorous, just simply to get the blood flowing. Maybe even after you've done all of that, to do a little bit of gentle stretching, hold and back, gentle stretching and hold and back. Now we are going to pick up our instrument and go to the next step. The next step, we'll start with each hand separately. There isn't any reason to start with the left hand over the right hand. It's your choice, okay? These are just suggestions in developing your own practice routine. So the goals of our warm-up exercise for the left hand is, one, to make sure that we have a good hand position. That means that the fingers are even with the frets and the tip joint of each finger is coming straight down. The finger position is very important. We're also looking for finger independence. We don't want one finger to go down and the other fingers to move away, or for fingers to lean against each other. So developing control over your individual digits is essential to success. And then the greatest and most important part of the success is that you get consistent results. So consistency in execution is the goal. Let's start in seventh position, not in first position, because again, we're still kind of gently wakening the hand and getting things going. And we'll start on the fourth string just to set the hand, and then move the fingers to the sixth string. This finger is on the 7th fret, 8th fret, 9th fret, and 10th fret. And we're going to do just a pattern exercise where each individual digit is going to go down, and maybe we'll even hear just a shadow of a note. And the other three fingers will try not to move. So it'll go something like this. And then we'll do the same thing on the 5th string and the 4th string. I should mention that as you're doing this exercise, you're trying to be really precise in the way that the fingers are coming down. You don't want them to come at an angle, otherwise you won't hear a tone at all. Also, you're not trying to do all the work with your finger. The arm is participating in this movement too. So that when you're coming down on this note, it's not just the finger, but almost the whole weight of the arm coming down on that note. We can do this starting in 7th position and go straight across to the 1st string, and then do it in 5th position, do it in 3rd position, and do it in 1st position. Each position has a slightly different challenge because as we move this direction, the frets get further apart. And so as we move down to 1st position, we'll find that this one will have more stretch between the fingers. If you're a beginner, this may be too early for that. But if you're an intermediate or an advanced student, you should be able to get success on each of those positions. 7, 5, 3, and 1. And now we're going to focus on the right hand alone. Again, it's your choice whether you start with the right hand or you start with the left hand. Okay. And I would recommend open string exercises to start with. But first, you want to make sure that you have the hand in a position above the string, so far away at least that the fingers have to extend to touch the string. And that you want to see if you can touch the same spot of the finger. So those of you who are beginners, this is how I would begin. Just simply trying to touch this tip of the finger where the nail and flesh meet and see if you can hit the same spot with each digit. You may discover that you have to angle the hand a little bit or maybe rotate a little bit to be able to develop the same spot. Okay, once you've done that, we're going to strike the string by extending the finger, pushing into the string a little bit, follow through across the string, relax the finger and let it return. Extension, touch, push down and across, and release the finger. And now you do the same thing with the next digit, the middle finger, extend, push down into the string, and push across. Those of you more advanced where this is now fundamental and you've got this, what we're really focusing in is just kind of get in the zone and get to the consistency and listen for the tone. Listen to how it feels too. You may notice as you do the exercise of just open strings that maybe, gosh, that nail is a little bit too long, or maybe it's a little too short, or maybe it just simply needs attention in terms of smoothing that nail out. You watch your hand, you can see how you're pushing down into the string. You're looking for consistency of tone to start with. Pushing down into the string and across will produce a bigger and a more solid sound. Make sure that you try it with different digits. I did that with I and M. I should try it with I and A, and M and A. And then we should also try it across the strings. So when I move my hand, my whole arm's going to move across the string to the next string. And you can't put your thumb on the sixth string if that will help. And proceed across the strings. Okay, with different types of finger combinations. So some of the goals that we should have. One would be dynamics. Begin by playing nice and loud, good solid tone. And then after you've done that and you've got a tone that you feel pretty secure with, then consider practicing a crescendo and a decrescendo. This is good for intermediate and advanced because a lot of times as we're kind of making the choice of trying to get louder, we find ourselves maybe having more difficulty controlling the tone. Also practice playing soft and then suddenly loud. And of course we can do this across the strings as well. Another focus can be tonal variety. So for instance, if I play over the sound hole, this is the area which we call sul tasto, that would be kind of a warm sound. But if I move towards the bridge, we call that ponticello, when we're towards the end over here, we'll get a brighter tone. So you can start to get an idea of what will it sound like as I'm striking this here, opposed to down here, or down here. Developing ability to create a wide range of color is to experiment also with the angle. So for instance, if I'm striking the string straight, this angle, it may have a warmer tone than if I turn the hand a little bit and I'm striking it straight across. Also, am I moving this direction or this direction? Occasionally, if I'm playing a scale, I might actually move more this direction. Hear the difference? Again, open string practice can help you develop that, and it will come in handy when you're actually working on a piece. You might actually have a piece in mind in terms of, okay, I'm going to be playing over here and then I'm going to go here. What kind of color do I want to hear? Do I want to hear demonstrating speed that we talked about just a moment ago, they're not like independent worlds. We want everything. To develop success at playing guitar, you want to have a lot of variety of color, and you'd also like to be able to have an efficiency of movement. In practicing open strings, you're looking for a variety of things. One, color. The other is speed. How well the fingers prepared to play. When you strike the string, the most important thing that you need to do after you've completed that action is let the finger bounce back to its original position as quickly as it naturally can. There are two schools of thought in right hand alternating between fingers, and I present this to you for your consideration. And one school of thought is that after we strike the string, immediately afterwards, we just relax the finger and allow it to return right back to its original position. In another video, I demonstrate this, where I extend, I push across, and then I just relax the finger. So as soon as I strike the string and I follow through, I release that finger and it comes back very quickly. The other school of thought is that, especially when we're doing scales, that we can use a kind of scissor-like movement. As one finger comes across the string and the next finger is going to be engaged, that we just simply switch places back and forth. And we practice doing this. A number of very fine players I know actually use this method, especially when they're doing fast scales. So in this method, you're practicing trying to move these two fingers, still keeping the hand very relaxed. But as one finger moves, the other one moves the other direction. That can be one element in terms of your practice when you're doing your warm-up, that you kind of ease your way into it. You might start slow, and then slow down. You can also affect dynamics that way, and experiment with tone color and how you're moving the arm back and forth. I'm going to combine the two hands here for a second for two different types of things. We can do that scale passage that we were starting with, and now add the left hand and right hand together. And as you're doing it, you can be thinking about crescendo. And decrescendo. You can also kind of measure the distance between notes in that act of crescendoing. So going from this note, the dynamics between those two notes are different. Let's go 4 notes. 5 notes. 6 notes. Some of you may recognize that's a tritone. In your warm-up, we began with putting our hands under some water, with movement, massaging them, even stretching them a little bit gently. And then we went to the activity of playing the instrument with mindful purpose. So we're exercising and preparing our mind and our hands for playing music, the repertoire that we're going to be devoting some time to. This concludes our lesson on the secrets of success, developing a strategy of practice, beginning with developing a warm-up routine. I look forward to seeing you next time. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel.